This conference will now be recorded.
Okay. So morning I was talking about whenever you are trying to write a Java program and connect to the database, talk to the database. If you want to talk to the database, you need to connect to the database, correct? First of all, you have to create a connection. So without creating a connection, without creating a pipe between client and server, how can you send the request to the servers on the client, correct?
Yes, Ram.
I need a pipe kind of thing between client and server so the communication happens over that pipe, over that connection, correct?
Yes, Ram.
Did everyone remember that?
Yes, sir.
So, in order to create a connection to the database, obviously, I need the IP address of the database, the port number on which the database is running on, and I also need the SID, I need the username, and I need the password, and I also need a driver, correct? I
Yes.
also need a driver which can drive the communication between the Java and the database, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
So that's the reason. So actually, I told in the morning, there is a predefined class called driver manager class, correct?
Yes.
There's a class called driver manager, and inside that class, there is a method called get connection. It's a static method. It's a static method,
Static method.
and this method will return connection object. There is a predefined class called connection. It will create the object of that class and return the object of that class, correct?
Yes, Ram.
Yeah.
So this method is a 3-argument method. So it accesses 3 strings: string URL, comma string username, string password, correct?
Yes, Ram.
So because it is a static method, I can directly call this method by using the class name, correct?
Yes.
That's what I'm doing. Driver manager dot get connection, and I'm passing the URL, username, and password, correct?
Yes.
So when I say URL, so I have to specify the IP address. So because it is a local machine, I can simply say localhost. Otherwise, if it is a remote machine, I have to specify the IP address of that machine, correct?
Yes,
Yes.
Ram.
Yes.
And I have to specify the port number. I have to specify the SID, and I have to specify it's a Oracle driver. It's a Oracle thin driver, correct?
Yes, Ram.
Yes.
And it's a JDBC Oracle driver, correct? JDBC Oracle thin driver. So using this driver, I'm asking this method to create a connection to the database with these details. So now this method has a logic to create a connection to the database and return the connection back to you. So it will create a connection object and it will return the connection object to you. So it means the connection is created to the database. Agreed?
Yes.
Yes.
The connection is created to the database. Now you can communicate with the database over that connection. You can send the queries over that connection, correct?
Yes, Ram.
Yeah.
Once you have a connection, once you have a pipe, now you can send the SQL query through that pipe to the database because database understands only query language. And one more thing is, prior to this is the step 2 actually. The step 1 is you have to load the driver class into memory. You have to load the driver class into memory because whenever you ask the get connection method to use this driver, it will go and check in the memory if this particular Oracle thin driver is available or not. Because we are asking this method to use this driver and create a connection to the database, correct?
Yes, Ram.
So where does this method find the driver? That it will go and check in the memory if there is any driver loaded in the memory, if there is any Oracle thin driver loaded in the memory. If it is loaded, it will take that driver and use the driver and create a connection to the database, correct?
Yes.
So that's the reason I have to load the driver class into memory first so that the get connection method can find the driver class in the memory and it can use the driver to create a connection to the database. So in order to load any class into memory, you can use class dot for name. There is a predefined class called class. There's a predefined class called class, and this class contains a for name method, which is a static method, and it accesses one argument, which is a string argument.
And return type.
It doesn't require for you because I'm not catching that value in any variable, right? So here,
Yes.
when I call the get connection method, I'm catching that in the connection variable, correct?
Yes, Ramji.
It doesn't matter for me. I don't need to know. Actually, I don't need to know what is there inside this class. It's a predefined class. That's all, correct?
Yes.
So when I call the for name method, it's a static method because I can directly call with the class name. By using the class name, I can directly call the method. I don't require an object to call the method, correct?
Yes.
So now I have to supply one string. So which string I have to supply? Suppose if I have to load the class A into memory, I have to supply com.mypackage.a. If I want to load the class B into memory, I want to supply com.mypackage.b, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
But if I want to load the Oracle driver class into memory, so what in which package the Oracle driver is present? It is present in,
Yeah.
The java.lang package.
what are you talking?
Or
Sorry.
Oracle driver is a class which is developed by third party people, not by the Java people, correct?
Yes,
Yes.
Rami.
If the Java people developed it, you can say that it's java.lang or java.util or java.sql or whatever the package they have it. But this is not the Java people developed it. It's developed by third party people, correct?
Yes,
Yes.
Ramji. You told us how to put it on the build part
So
too.
actually we have to download the OJDBC 6.jar because that particular jar file contains this particular driver class, correct?
Yes.
Yes, yes.
So they created a package called oracle.jdbc.driver, and inside that package they created this class.
Yes.
Suppose I want to open the jar file and see what is there inside the jar file, okay?
Yes.
C drive, Surface, Java decompiler. I want to go and open file,
Open file.
C drive, Surface, OJDBC 6.jar. OJDBC 6.jar here. So I want to open the jar file with the Java decompiler, correct?
Yes.
So Oracle.jdbc.driver.
Driver.
That is the package oracle.jdbc.driver. You have the Oracle driver class in this package.
Yes.
Okay. So this is the class I'm loading into the memory. Agreed?
Yes.
Yes, Ramji.
If I want to load any class into memory means I have to use the class.forName, correct? And I have to supply the class name, whichever the class I want to load.
Yes, Ramji.
So, and I told that there's a when you look at the method signature, there is a chance of class not found exception out of this method, correct?
Mhm.
So if you don't know how to handle the exception, just declare throws class not found exception, correct?
Yes. Yes.
Yes, Ramji.
And similarly, this get connection method, there's a chance of SQL exception out of this method. So if you don't know how to handle that exception, just declare throw SQL exception, correct?
Yes.
Yes, Ramji.
I told all these things in my exception handling classes.
Yes.
If
Yeah.
you think that you don't have time for practice and you don't have any time for doing any practice or learning something, so I have to tell all those classes to you, all the 6 classes, exception handling classes. Do you want all the 6 exception handling classes again?
No, Ramji.
No, Ramji.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Yes.
Then you have to go through the recordings.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I cannot explain anything. Okay. So whatever. So now I created a connection object, correct?
Yes,
Yes.
Ramji.
So the step 1 is complete and the step 2 is complete. But for the step 1 to work successfully, so where does this Oracle driver class is present? Do you have a package called oracle.jdbc.driver package in your workspace? Did you create a package called oracle.jdbc.driver?
No.
No.
So then how can this method can load if you don't have a package and if you don't have a class, how can this method can load the class into memory? If you have a class, it will load the class into memory, correct?
Yes.
So it does, but it did not create any class called oracle driver. It did not create any package called oracle.jdbc.driver, correct?
Yes. Yes, Ramji.
So what it will do is when it doesn't find anything in the workspace, then it will go and check on the build path, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
On the build path, it will check what are the jar files available. So this is the only jar file available. It will go and check inside this jar file if there is a oracle.jdbc.driver.oracle.driver class available. If it is available, it will take that class and load the class into memory.
Okay.
Okay.
So once it is loaded into the memory, so now the get connection method can make use of the driver class and create a connection to the database by using all these details, the host name, IP address, I mean the host name, port number, SID, username and password, correct?
Yes.
So the get connection method has a logic to use those details and create a connection to the database and return the connection object back to you. So once you get the connection object, means the connection is established successfully.
Yes, Ramji.
The connection is created successfully between the client and server. So this is a Java program and this is a Oracle database, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Now from the Java program, I created a connection to the database, correct?
Yes,
Yeah.
Ramji. Yes.
Now what I have to do? After creating a connection, what I have to do? I have to send a
That
SQL
request.
query. I have to send a SQL statement, correct?
Yes.
Yes, Ramji.
I have to send a SQL statement to the database so that the statement will be executed by the database, correct?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So I told that there's a class called connection and I already got the object of that class, correct?
Yes, Ramji.
And this connection class is present in java.sql package. I have
Yes.
to import that package, getting it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
So because one more thing, so this particular class called class that is
Yeah.
present in java.lang package. Here java.lang.class. Because it is present in the java.lang package, you need not import it, it will be automatically imported. That is the specialty of java.lang package, correct?
Yeah. Yes, Ramji.
So if you look at the SQL exception that is present in java.sql package, so I have to import the java.sql.sql exception. Similarly, I have to import the driver manager class also, correct?
Yes.
So now I told that there is a class called connection class. Inside this class, there is a method called create statement. Because I did not write this class. This class is written by someone else, and these methods are written by someone else. Someone else, correct?
Yes. Yes, Ramji.
Create statement. So, when you call this method, if you want to call this method, you need a object of this class. Without object of this class, can you call this method?
No, Ramji. I mean, if at all it's a static method, we don't need an object. We
Not a
can make.
static method.
Yeah, we need an object there.
You need a object of this class, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
So I already have a object of this class. That object is stored in this variable. This variable is referring to the object because this get connection method returns the connection object, and that is stored in that is captured in the connection variable. Correct?
Yes, Ramji. Yes.
Agreed, everyone?
Yes.
Yes.
So now I have a object connection dot create statement. I can call the method on that object. Correct?
Yes.
Yes.
I can call connection dot create statement. So when I call this method, this method will return me a statement object. There is a predefined class called statement class. Okay, there is a predefined class called statement class. So this method, when you call this method will return a statement object. It will create an object of this class, and this is the return type. The return type of this method is statement. So why do I need a statement object? why do I need to call this method on the connection object? First of all, tell me, why do I need a connection object? If I don't have a connection object, how can I communicate with the database? I need a connection, right?
Yes.
Yes,
I
Ramji.
need a connection between the client and server. So I need a connection object. So I hope everyone understand till the second step, correct?
Yes.
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 Now I have a connection object. Now using the connection object, I'm calling the create statement method and I'll get the statement object. So why will I need the statement object? If I have to send any SQL statement to the database means I need a statement object. Without statement object, I cannot send the SQL statement to the database.
ఇప్పుడు వరకు విన్న జావా
Sorry?
నో రామ్జీ నథింగ్.
I need a statement object to send the SQL statement to the database because I'm sending the SQL queries to database, right? If I have to send the SQL query to database, I need a statement object. Without statement object, I cannot send the SQL queries, SQL statements.
Yeah.
Getting it?
Yes.
That is the reason I'm calling this method create statement. I'm calling the create statement method on the connection object and it will return me the statement object. I'll catch that in the statement variable. In the statement variable, this method returns a statement object. I'm catching that in the statement variable. Correct?
Yes, Ramji.
Any questions?
Ramji.
So now I got the statement object. Now using the statement object, I can send the SQL statements to database, correct?
Yes.
So first of all, I need a connection object. How do I get the connection object? By using the driver class. By using the driver class, I can create a connection to the database. It means I have to load the driver class first, correct?
Yes.
I have to load the driver class into memory. Now using the driver class, using this particular driver, I can create a connection to the database by calling the driver manager.get connection, correct? And I can supply the driver information here, JDBC Oracle thin, correct?
Yes.
Any questions here?
No.
No, Ramji.
So now I got the connection object. Now using the connection object, I can create a statement object. So I got the statement object. Now using the statement object, I can send the SQL statement to database. Correct?
Okay. Yeah.
Yes.
So it means, let me remove all this thing. Comment out all these things. Because these classes are not written by me. These are already predefined classes, correct?
Yes.
So connection class is present in java.sql package, correct?
Yes.
And statement class is present in java.sql package. I have to import that as well, correct?
Yes.
So now I got the statement object. Now I have to send the SQL statement to database. It means I have to send the SQL query to database, correct?
Yes.
So first of all, I will write the query. String query equal to what query you want to write? Select. Okay, I don't want to write the select query. I want to write the query. Insert into. Okay, whatever the query, you can tell any query. Getting it?
Yeah.
So what is the database? I'm using August, December 2019, right?
Yes.
So this is the database I'm trying to connect from the Java program, correct?
Yeah.
But right now I'm connecting with the SQL developer client, but I'm trying to connect with the Java client also, correct?
Yes,
Yes.
Ramji.
So let's start from, describe employee. What are the columns here? EMP ID, EMP name, salary, address ID, vehicle ID, correct?
Yes, Ramji.
What I'll do is, I don't want so many columns. I'll alter table employee, drop column, address ID. Can I drop the address ID column?
I think it's a foreign key, Ramji.
So table employee is altered. Okay. So I also drop vehicle ID. If it is a foreign key, it is a child. Right? This is a child record, correct?
Yes,
Yes.
Ramji.
The table which contains a foreign key is a child table. Okay, this whatever the table it is referring to, it's a parent table, correct?
Yes.
Yes, Ramji.
So you can delete the child records, not a problem.
Okay.
Even if there is a parent record, you can delete the child records, but you cannot delete the parent record when there is a child record, correct?
Yes, Ramji.
Otherwise it will become an orphan record. Okay, anyways, so that's all completed already. I don't want to get back into that. So drop column vehicle ID. I want to drop this column also. Now, how many columns are there in the employee table? 3
3.
columns, right?
Yes.
Just PMP ID, EMP name, and salary. Now, from a Java client, insert into employee values. EMP ID is 349, comma. EMP name is, so it should be single quote. You know the SQL query syntax, correct?
Yes.
It should be single quote. EMP name is maybe QWRTY. Okay. And what is the salary? Maybe we'll give it as 3,560. So this is the syntax. This is the query. This is the query, and I made it as, because I kept it in the double quotes, because I want to store this string in a string variable. Correct.
Yes,
Yes.
Ramji. Yes.
So this is the query I constructed now. Correct.
Yes.
Now I have a statement object. Using the statement object, I have to send this SQL statement to database for the execution. Correct.
Yes.
So I have to send this particular SQL statement to database by using the statement object and ask the database to execute the query. Correct.
Yes. Yes.
So inside the statement class, there is a method called execute update. There is a method called execute update. So I'll call this particular method. I'll call this particular method on the statement object. Getting it?
Yes, Ramji.
So I'll call statement dot execute update. So it is accepting one string argument, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
So I'll pass the query. Query is a string, right?
Yes.
So now I created a statement object. Using the statement object, I'm sending this query to the database for the execution. There's a method called execute update. There's a logic inside the method. There is a logic inside the execute update method. There's a lot of logic inside the execute update method. What is that logic? There's a logic to send the query for the execution
Execution.
to the database, correct?
Yes, Ramji.
Sending this query to the database for the execution. It is asking the database to execute this query. It is sending the query. So there's a logic to send the query in this method. Getting it? Through
Yes,
that
Ramji.
pipe, through that connection. Getting it?
Yes.
So when you supply that query to this method, so this method will take that query and send the query to the database.
Yes.
Database will execute the query. Correct?
Yes.
So now let me print this out. Done. Just to know that it's done. Okay.
Yes, Ramji.
As Java application is done. It means this particular record is sent to the database for the execution. Correct?
Yes.
This particular query is sent to database for the execution. Any questions here?
No, Ramji.
So database must have been executed that, and now if you go and check in the database, you should see this record. Correct?
Yes.
Yes, Ramji.
So now listen carefully. Now from the Java client, I sent a query to the database, and that because database understands only query language, doesn't understand anything else. Correct?
Yes.
Yes.
So I send the query to database, and database execute the query and insert that record into the database. Correct? In
Yes.
employee table.
Yes.
Now through SQL developer client, this is the Java client, this is the SQL developer client. Now through SQL developer client, I'll connect to the database. I'll create a connection to the database through to the same database. Correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Java developer from Java client, I created one connection and send the query to the
Query.
database. Now from the SQL developer, I created a connection to the database, and through this connection, I'm sending one more query. So what is the query I'll send? I'll send the query select star from
Employee.
Employee.
This is the query I'm sending to the database. So database should have that record called 3560, correct?
Yes,
Yes.
Ramji.
So through Java program, I spoke to the database and I kept the data in the database. Now through SQL developer client, I'm connecting to the database and getting the data. Correct?
Yes.
Yes. Yep.
Okay. So now do you do you agree that I can connect to the database from a Java program and store some data in the database?
Yes, Ramji.
Yeah.
Any questions here?
No.
No, Ramji.
So this is how you have to create a connection to the database, and this is how you send the query to the database by using the statement object. So if you want to send the query to the database, if you want to send the SQL statement to the database, you need a statement object, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
So that's the reason I created a statement object. But if I have to create a statement object, I need a connection object because this method is there inside the connection class. I need a connection object, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
If I need a connection object, I need the driver class. I need this Oracle thin driver because using this thin driver, Oracle thin driver only, I'm able to connect to this particular database with this username and password and get the connection object, correct?
Yeah.
If I,
Yes.
if I if I need this Oracle thin driver, I have to load the driver class into memory, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
So step 1 is load the driver class in memory. Step 2 is get the connection by using the driver class which is loaded. And step 3 is create a statement object by using the connection object. And once you get the statement object, execute the query by calling the execute update. The execute update method has a logic to send the query to database, and database will execute the query. Correct?
Yes, Ramji.
Any questions here?
No.
No, Ramji.
So if you want to send the update query, so just go and send the query. That's all. Everything else is same. You have to, because whether you send a update query, whether you send a insert query, whether you send a delete query, you need a connection, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
And you need a statement because without statement you cannot send the SQL statement to database, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
So the connection is required. The connection object is required, and the statement object is required. So if you want to send the database, you have to call the execute update and pass the query. Whatever the query you pass. For example, if you pass update employee set salary equal to 10,000, where EMP ID equal to, what is the query? EMP ID equal to 349, correct?
Yes, Ramji.
So where EMP ID equal to 349. That's all you have to send this, but whatever the query you send to this method has a logic to send that query to database, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
So run as Java application. It is done. So go and check from the SQL developer what is the record in the database. So if you look here, you have 10,000, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
So similarly, for example, if you want to delete the record, everything else is same. You need a connection, you need a statement, because whatever the SQL statement you want to send to the database, you need a statement object. If you need
Yeah.
a statement object, you need a connection object. If you need a connection object, you need to load the driver class into memory, correct? So
Yeah.
Yes.
all the program is same, just change the query itself, correct?
Yes.
So delete from employee, where EMP ID equal to 349, correct?
Yes.
It's done. Go and check. Select start from employee. You should not find that record, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
You have only 4 records.
Yeah.
Agreed?
Yes.
So this is how you have to create a connection, and this is how you have to create a statement, and this is how you have to send the query for execution by calling the execute update method, correct?
Yes, Ramji.
So only for insert query and update query and delete query, you have to call the execute update method. Okay. But if you want to send a different query, for example, if you want to add alter table, this is you can send any query to database, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Alter table employee, add, what do you want to add? Maybe you want to add gender, varchar2 of 6. Okay.
Okay.
This is the query. This is the query. Okay.
Okay, Ramji.
Double quotes.
Mm.
So then I have to send execute. I have to call execute method. There is one more method called execute method. So execute update method will be used only for the DML queries. The insert query, update query, and delete query are DML queries. They are data manipulation queries, correct?
Yes.
Yes, Ramji.
But if you want to send the if you want to alter the table or this is not a DML, this is a DDL query. You are changing the definition of the table, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
This is a DDL query. Agreed?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then you have to call the execute method. There's one more method in the statement class. There are so many methods in the statement class. Not only this method, there are so many methods, correct?
Yes.
I did
Yes.
not write this
Yes.
class. This class is written by someone else. And they have
Yes.
written so many methods in this class. So they have written a method called execute update. They have written a method called execute. They have written a method called execute query. There are so many methods are there in the statement class. Getting it?
Yeah.
So now I'll call the for the DDL queries, call the execute method. Okay?
Mm. Okay.
Known as Java application. It's done. Go and check select star from employee. Got it? Gender column.
Yes, Ramji.
They
Yes.
alter the table or not?
Yes.
Yes.
Suppose if I want to drop table, that is also I'm it's not a DML, right? I'm dropping the table. I'm dropping the entire table
Yeah.
definition, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
So drop table employee. That's all. Drop table employee. So now run this query. Just you have to call the execute method for this dropping the table also, correct? Run
Yeah.
as
Yeah.
Java application. It's done. Go and check now. You don't find the table. You get an error now. When you say select start from employee, it will tell you that table does not exist, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Table does not exist. Agreed? Because you already dropped the table from a Java client. The database is same database. Both the clients are talking to the same database. The Java client and the SQL developer client, correct?
Yes.
One more thing is, for example, if you want to create the table again, create table employee. So EMP ID number of 6 comma EMP name varchar to of 9 comma salary number of 5. So this parenthesis is opened here and parenthesis is closed here, correct? And double quotes. Any questions here?
No, Ramji.
No.
Just call the execute method for create table, for dropping the table, for altering the table, whatever it is. Run as Java application. So go and check now if you have the table created or not, correct? Let's
Yes.
start from employee. Now yes, the table is there, but there is no data in the table, correct?
Yes.
Just now I created the table. Any questions here?
No.
No.
Ramji.
Yeah, I have a question, Ramji.
Yeah.
Are we-
See.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Can I speak? Yeah.
Yeah.
See. In this SQL developer, Ramji, we need to commit, right, Ramji, for the data to be saved.
Okay. So
Yeah.
that is what my next topic. Actually, what will happen here is when you call the execute update, correct?
Yes, Ramji.
So I'm calling the execute update only for the DML queries, correct? Only
Yes, Ramji.
DML queries require the commit statement, correct?
Yes.
So the execute update method has a logic to send the commit query also.
Oh, it automatically commits, Ramji.
It will automatically send the commit query to database. It has to send the query, right? It has to send the commit query to database, correct?
Yes,
Yes.
Ramji.
So it will that method has a logic to send the query to the database. If the query is successfully executed, then it will also send the commit query to database. There is so much of logic inside the method. So we don't know what is that logic, but definitely they have written a logic to send the commit query to database. We are just calling the methods. Our job is very easy. Just create the object of the connection class and call the method. Just then you get the statement object. Now using the object, call the method. You don't know what is the logic in the execute method. You don't know what is the logic in the get connection method. You don't know what is the logic in the for name method. Correct? You don't know anything. Correct?
Yeah.
We are just calling the method. Agreed?
Yes,
Yes.
Ramji.
We don't know what is the logic in the method. We need not know that. Why do we need to know that? We need not know that. Our job is to our job is to communicate with the database and store the data in the database, correct? Why do I need to know what logic he has written? Why the hell I need that, correct?
Yes.
Agreed. So whenever you want to create a connection to the database, whenever you want to speak to the database, whenever you want to store some data, whenever you want to update the data, whenever you want to delete the data, whenever you want to create the tables, alter the tables, drop the tables, whatever might be, the database understands only SQL queries. So you have to send a SQL query to a database. So how will you send a SQL query to the database? By using a statement object. So how do you get the statement object? From the connection object. How do you get the connection object? From the driver, by using the driver class. Getting it?
Yes,
Yes.
Ramji.
So that's all for this class. This is a very short class. So but the one good thing about this class is now you should be able to connect to the database and store the data in the database by using the Java programs, correct?
Yes,
Yes.
Ramji.
So the next topic I will tell in the tomorrow morning class about the select queries, because select queries is little bit tricky. Select queries is not straightforward. It is little bit tricky. That's the reason I don't want to start the topic now. Okay.
Okay, Ramji.
So you understood all the other queries, right? Now only the pending thing is select query, correct?
Yes,
Yeah.
Ramji.
Yes, sir.
I'll talk about the select query in tomorrow's morning class, and maybe by tomorrow evening or by Saturday morning, I will try to wrap up the JDBC, and we have to start Hibernate as soon as possible.
Okay,
Okay?
Ramji.
Okay.
Because there's nothing else. If these are the same steps, correct? Anytime you have to follow these steps to connect to the database and get the data from the database or update the data in database, whatever it is, correct?
Yes.
Okay, Ramji. Yes, Ramji.
So any JDBC program will have these steps only. These are the 5 steps you have to know how to talk to the database. And but in order to understand this program, you need to know what is a static keyword. You know what is a static method. If you don't know what is a static method, so you cannot call this method directly, correct?
Yes,
Yeah.
Ramji.
Yes.
Yes.
And you should know what is the exceptions, correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
You
Yes.
have to know what is the throws keyword.
Yes.
Getting it? And you should know what is the object and how to call the methods on the object. All these are core Java concepts, agreed?
Yes,
Yes.
Ramji.
So just creating the object and calling the method, creating the object and calling the method, creating the object and calling the method. Are you doing anything else?
No,
No.
Ramji.
That is what we do in every class. So if you observe Hibernate framework, if you observe Spring framework, if you observe any framework, what are the things we are going to learn? Yeah, whether it's a REST web service, whether it's a servlets, whatever it is, you create the object and call the method. Create the object and call the method. You don't need to know what is there in that method because those methods are already given to you, correct?
Yes.
Yes, Ramji.
Okay, anyways, you'll get used to it. So I'm not taking much in this particular class because I want you to practice the morning class and the evening class as well. I will send you the recordings in some time, and I mean before I send the recordings, so maybe you can go through some exception handling concepts. I'm telling you again
Yeah.
because
Okay.
going forward it is very important. The exception handling you should know. Going forward, the collections are very important. Maybe tomorrow morning class, maybe you require collections also, or else you have to know collections also to understand the to understand the classes, the latter classes. To understand the latter classes, you should know collections as well. Every concept that we learned in core Java is very important to learn advanced Java. I'm telling you again.
Okay. Okay, Raj.
Okay,
Okay,
Ramji.
fine. Okay. So then let's meet tomorrow morning again. Looks like tomorrow morning also I have a call at 9 o'clock. Can we meet at 9:30 Eastern time?
Yes.
Okay, Ram.
Yes, Ramji.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Okay then. Bye.
Okay.
Bye.